Hi, I'm Joanne Roberts, and I'm hoping to be Deputy Leader of the Green Party of Nova Scotia. I'm very proud to be running on a ticket with Anthony Edmonds. I think Anthony is someone who is smart, has new ideas, and a real passion for putting the Green Party of Nova Scotia on the map. So, in an effort to try and let you know a little bit more about me and where I stand on issues, I'm going to be answering 5 questions that have been put to us, myself and Anthony, by your Leadership Contest Committee. So the first question I've been asked to answer is, what are you going to do to increase membership numbers and engagement? I think it is really important that we look at trying to attract new members to the Green Party of Nova Scotia. It is important between elections, and we have quite a runway here with 4 years before we know we'll have the next provincial election. A chance to go out and talk to people and get to know them where they are. I think one of the best ways to recruit members is helping them get to know who we are as individuals. So meeting them at a beach cleanup and suggesting they might want to have a Green Party of Nova Scotia membership because we're going to be having an event, or because they can vote on a policy, or maybe they could be a member of our shadow cabinet. Those are all ways for people to engage with us. I think sometimes we have to look at how we bring people in for something that's fun and entertaining, whether it's a social event or an educational event, and then as that helps them build community, they may choose to be more involved as we sort of go up the engagement ladder. So I think we meet people where they are. We give them a reason, if they care about the environment, to realize that having a membership in the Green Party of Nova Scotia is part of what they can do to stand up for what needs to be done to fight the climate emergency. You see, having a membership adds your voice to what the leadership has to say on issues. Having a membership has value because you can have a say on policy within the party. Having a membership has value because you belong to a community of people who share your concerns. So I think spreading that message, going around the province, having small get-togethers, building up our EDAs, doing it regionally, initially, so that people can work together and share good ideas, including places where there can be forums, where that is in our Slack channel or in an official Green Party of Nova Scotia Facebook page or on an Instagram post, where people feel they're part of something if they join us on those things. So that's how I would build membership and engagement. So let's go on to the next one. What are you going to do, despite not having a presence in Province House, to keep the green agenda in the public eye and to hold elected representatives accountable for the green promises they make? One of the ways to engage to ensure that those who are in Province House are accountable is to be watching what they do. And Anthony and I have put forward that we need an active shadow cabinet, a cabinet that literally is shadowing cabinet ministers. So if a cabinet minister puts forward a piece of legislation and we see that it's not effective or it has holes in it, then we're going to be, and when I say we, not just Anthony and myself, but our shadow cabinet members are going to go, let's write a letter to the editor. Let's write an op-ed piece. Let's present at the committee hearings. Let's be a voice that the media can count on. Because by choosing shadow cabinet members who are well informed and are following a portfolio, I think we can really punch above our weight. As well, and I think this is important to hold people account, is as we build to get ready for an election, we need to be reminding those who are in power that we're watching them. We are holding them to account. So that means joining panels, reminding the media that we're available to comment on something, picking issues that we feel strong on, Owl's Head, open pen fish farming, issues that, getting Nova Scotia off coal. We need to take the issues that really fit the Green Party of Nova Scotia, and that we can be strong voices on. And in that way, I think we'll punch above our weight. All right, describe your thoughts or position on open net pen fishing and its alternatives, and how do we involve or partner with local fishers in adopting any proposed changes? in the last election, I was so impressed that we had candidates who had been part of the opposition to open pen fish farming, and in not expanding that, especially in and around St. Margaret's Bay and Mahone Bay. We had people who were leading that charge as candidates. And that is how you become partners, because you get to know the players. And that is really, really important. So I would say that to move forward on that, we have to be very aware of what the options are in other parts of the country and right here in Nova Scotia. I've spoken to a lot of people about how Nova Scotia is actually a leader when it comes to containment land-based fish farming. We have the greenest land-based fish farm, I think, in the world, certainly in Canada, right here in Nova Scotia, down in Brooklyn in the valley. And we need to start talking about what we can learn from that and start involving those who are fishers and involved in other open pen fishing, the industry itself, who are looking to make the transition. We have to make that transition attractive. We have to be well informed so both sides know there is a future and what the advantages are of that future, that it's not just shutting one down without having another position to go to. We can work closely with First Nations here in this province who have some expertise in this area and are already talking about going forward. So we need to support those who want to move forward, who want to be progressive, and we have to help those who want to make the transition be part of that transition. And let's see, how is climate change affecting Nova Scotia? And what can be done to mitigate any negative effects? Let me tell you something very practical about how climate change is affecting Nova Scotia. I went to renew my house insurance this month, and I was told that my new insurance company will not insure my property for overland flooding. Now think about that, overland flooding. That means if we get too much rain and my backyard doesn't drain properly and flooding comes into the house, I'm no longer insured. If we get a tidal surge that comes up the Northwest Arm and manages to soak the drainage around our properties, there will be no insurance. Now, we've always had flood insurance on our homes, and we asked our insurance agent, was anybody willing to insure us? And they said no. We don't live in a floodplain. I don't know what you'll do if you live in a floodplain, and my guess is you won't be able to get that insurance either. But we are seeing that because we are expecting more and more of these intense weather events, that we're no longer going to be insured for them. So we need to look at what are we doing to create mitigation along our coastal frontage in the city. What are we doing to ensure that we are not putting high-end properties in places where they can't be insured? I mean, that is a practical implication of climate change that is affecting us right now in Nova Scotia. I mean, we know that there are other ways as well. We're seeing a change in the in whether our farmers and fruit farmers in particular are being affected by a change in weather. We're seeing water levels that are changing. We are seeing forestry products that are not going to be available because of climate change. We are seeing the fishing industry change. 85% of the world's population has directly been affected by climate change, and that is only going to become more intense. So mitigation is talking about floodplain mapping. It's talking about making sure that we are not depleting the oxygen in our oceans, that we are still able to build up our fish stocks and we're not overfishing, that we are protecting our forest stands, and that we are looking at replanting, not a monoculture, but a mixed culture, that we are getting rid of our glyphosate spraying, that we are looking at how do we reduce our greenhouse gases so that we're off coal in this province. There is so much to be done here in Nova Scotia, and I think as more and more people start to see the effect of this climate emergency, they will join us. And my final question is, describe your understanding of access to adequate health care by all Nova Scotians, and what can we do to address gaps in the healthcare system? Well, certainly healthcare is something that touches all of us. And during the pandemic, I believe we actually saw some of the answers. As scary as it was to realize how little pressure our healthcare system can take before we have to make drastic changes. We saw elective surgeries being canceled and people not able to get to doctors. But suddenly we accelerated, for example, telemedicine. It is not time to turn our backs on telemedicine. It is time for us to say, how can we integrate this into our healthcare system so it works effectively? As well, we know there are models that are working well in pilot projects in this province where we have a complete healthcare unit that works together, community healthcare. So you have a social worker and a dietitian and a psychologist and a physiotherapist working together with a physician, maybe a nurse practitioner as well, so that someone comes into a clinic like that and they're able to get all the services they need under one roof. That's a model that is showing that it is effective, and doctors and other healthcare professionals like working in it. As well, we need to expand what I would call the scope of care, so that we increase the ability of pharmacists, for example, to give repeat refills of a prescription, that we allow physiotherapists to order an x-ray if they need it. I mean, limited to those areas of expertise, but taking some pressure off our family doctors and what they are seeing clients for. There are ways, in addition to increasing the number of family doctors that are available in this province, that we can make space available within our current system to ensure that more of us are getting high-quality health care, especially as we see this pandemic we are going through is not going to be the first or the last pandemic we will see. What we have learned, though, is we are adaptable. We are able to make public policy that deals with health issues as they arrive. And it is time now for us to look at the long term of how we protect our seniors in long-term care and we improve that system, how we make it more accessible for those who live in rural parts of this province to get the health care they need, and how we make it possible to see us as a whole person and to look at all elements of not only our physical health but our mental health, and that we bring all of this into our healthcare system where it is easily accessible. Well, I hope that those gave you some idea of how I feel about things. You have a choice when you vote for the leadership team for the Green Party of Nova Scotia. While Anthony and I are the only candidates on there, none of the above is also a choice. And I would like to think that if you choose to vote for us, it's not because you don't have any other choice, it's because you believe in what we offer. If we're not the kind of leadership you're looking for, then I encourage you to vote for none of the above. If you vote for us, I promise that we will do our very best to engage you, to build a party that is addressing the primary issues that are facing this province, and to have a breakthrough for the Green Party of Nova Scotia in the next election. Thank you.